Okay, so for the third test, I think, yeah, third test, uh, we're just gonna check the general health of the lag, and if you notice, I kind of put um, commands in here to remind me what I was looking at. So we're gonna look at both the router and the switch. And yeah, there's nothing. Input queue, output queue, and we can actually just look at all the stats. We don't have to just limit it to the queue. Um, so oh, here we go. Port channel 1 is up. You can see the bandwidth. Yeah, okay. This is a little curious, but hopefully it won't cause us any problems. Let's see here. Yeah, so showing 3 links. Yeah, and here's what we were looking at earlier. There's no drops or flushes or anything like that. It's using FIFO queuing, which stands for first in, first out. Output queue size. So it's saying about 30 meg. Oh, this is stuck on the 5-minute queue rate. That's why we could set the load the load interval on that as well. But I believe the link stats are probably going to be good enough. So output, no input errors. Yeah, I don't really see anything bad. So very good. Okay, so we got input and we've got output packets. Oh, okay. So that looks good. Let's look at the router side. I'm guessing it's going to be the same. It's passing so little traffic. I would be shocked if it didn't work properly. So we'll just look it over real quick. Let's see, we got the right bandwidth. It sees all 3 NICs. That's still kind of curious. Nothing in the queues. Here's that 5-minute input rate. So it's showing 30 meg out. And that probably just hasn't had enough time to settle out. But we don't see any errors or dribbles or any of that other fun stuff. So I'm going to call that I'll just call that a pass. Just kind of a general look at things. Okay. So in that last test where we're just looking for jitter and delay, you might be asking, well, why aren't we looking at the test sets? And we kind of did when we were originally looking at it. This is actually the jitter right here. And you can see it's nothing. And I was kind of looking at it. I wanted to make mention of it that I didn't overlook this. I just was looking at it as we were testing. And none of the... You have to look at the server side to get the stat. Let's see, where are we at on this thing? Oh, here we are. We're on server 8892. We can go back to server 8890, server 8888, and that's on the MX2 side. And then, okay, server 8888. Oh, this guy's... Oh, that's right, because we stopped the traffic going northbound. But it was okay. I remember looking at it. You can see it right here. It was okay. Let's look at the next one. Yeah, I was looking at that, and you know, we're using Linux boxes with open source software. I mean, this stuff is okay. It's pretty good, I should say. But I mean, I trust the stats in the Cisco quite a bit. So unless we have a real good test set, I would rely on the Cisco stats. Okay, for our next test, this is going to be some capacity testing. It's really both these I could have combined these together, but I wanted to start them all individually. And I think hopefully we don't have any load balancing problems, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can pass at least 90% of the traffic, and these links, in case you don't know, so if you do a show int, what's one of them? Fast 10. These links are duplex, and it should say that around here somewhere. A bandwidth. Oh yeah, here we go. Full duplex at 100 meg each, right? So that duplex means it can transmit and receive at 100 megs. It's not 100 meg total. In other words, it's not 50 megs northbound and 50 megs southbound. It's 100 megs northbound and 100 megs southbound, and we want to make sure that's going to work okay. And for this test, I'm going to put some. We definitely want to make sure we clear the counters before we start that test on either one, because we don't want to have any leftover, garbage in here. Even though I don't see any errors, so that's not going to be a problem. But it's just as a good practice. You want to clear everything, and then we're going to start one 90 meg pipe at a time, and we're going to start it from the switch side. So we might need where is that guy? So we might need these guys right here. But we're also going to be looking at errors. So we'll have to look at the whole interface, which will just be this part right here. And so we're going to start, from this client going to this server, 8888, 90 megs. So should put it on one of these pipes. And there's a couple things we're going to look for. We're going to make sure it's not splitting the traffic up between pipes, because that's a no-no per the spec. And to make sure that it actually passes the traffic, and that we don't get any drops or anything like that. And I know 90, there's some overhead. We might have to tweak it down to 85 or something like that, but we'll figure it out. The goal is to make sure we're getting our 300 megs of traffic duplex, or close to it anyway. And okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop all the clients, and Control C, okay. And over down here, well, the servers can stay running because they don't send traffic, and none of these clients are running. So we'll let the stats clear out some, and and I'm talking about these stats right here. The router, for some reason, takes a long time to clear its stats out. The switch seems to be a little better. So if I do a clear counters on this, I think it actually, no, it doesn't. I thought it would clear the rate out too, but it doesn't. So anyway, we got to wait 30 seconds, and then we'll get started again. Okay, so finally everything went to 0 on all the lag links. 0 rate. So like I said, first we're going to start. I already have a server running on 8888 on the Zotac, and now we're going to start a client up at 90 meg from MX2 number 1. So first we need to change his bandwidth. So I'm going to VI him, And we're going to set this to 90. And this is going to be a twofold test. This first one is I want to make sure, because I'm using InBand to manage these boxes, so there's going to be some bandwidth lost on the 100 meg interface coming out of this guy. So I want to make sure that we're not getting a bunch of weird packet loss that has nothing to do with the lag first. So we're going to look at that real quick, and we might have to tweak it if we need to. But let's get started. All right. And we're getting, well, I don't know why it's 90.5, but we're sending 90 meg. Isn't that strange? Why is it 90.5? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the size of the UDP packets. Yeah, we're sending 1470 byte datagrams, except for 1500. So it shouldn't be splitting the packets up. So yeah. Okay, well, and we'll just chalk that up to, I mean, we're getting close, for 90.4 meg. So let's go take a look at what these guys say. I'm not seeing, so you can see there's no jitter. This is on the server side. There's no packet loss. Everything should be good. So let's go look at the switch first. And once again, he put it on link 1, and yeah, I know it's showing 86, and probably hasn't been 30 seconds left. We'll let it sit for a second to make sure all the numbers match. Okay, yeah, so he's getting up there. So yeah, there, everybody looks happy. Well, let's go look at some stats. So we're just got to look at them all and see if we see anything. All right. Full duplex. Yeah, so he's up to 91 meg. So we got some overhead going on. We might bump that down to 85 because I don't want to be chasing down packet loss from my testing. So even though 90 should be good for Ethernet link, there's some overhead that could be causing problems. I'm SSH'd into some of these boxes, and even the router is showing 91, which is not quite what I wanted. Let's see. I'll look at this guy real quick. Let's see. He's showing 93. But we're not getting any drips or drabs or errors, or nothing's getting flushed out of the queue. No errors or collisions. Well, it shouldn't be any collisions, but okay. That looks good. Let's adjust it real quick. So let's VI this file again, and I'm gonna bump him down to 85. And let's fire him back up. And we'll wait 30 seconds and come back and take a look at it. Okay, so we dropped the rate down to 86. And as you can see, it settled out at, I let it sit for a few minutes and that sort of stuff, and let everything settle out. And we're getting about 87 on both the switch and the router. And this guy, the server, is showing about 85.1, and it looks like he's transmitting, I don't know, these, oh, here we go, 85.2. So I don't see any. We can go check the let's go check the interface real quick that's running the traffic. And I don't expect to see any errors. But that 86 is close enough. I wanted to leave 10% overhead bandwidth. You know, because I just want to make sure that the goal is to pass, you know, the majority of the traffic. I'm not trying to test to see the exact capacity of it. I just want to make sure everything's going to work when things start getting busy. And yeah, you can see there's no errors, and you'd start seeing stuff up here, and I don't see any errors, unknown drops. Yeah, and we're not seeing any jitter over here. We're not showing any packet loss, so it's all good. So and probably the same on this side here. Let's see. Like I say, I don't expect we would see something in the server here if we're actually getting some drops, but I don't see anything. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm not getting any drops here. Well, now it's showing 88. Output, no errors, no input errors, frame errors, none of this other stuff. So yeah, we look good. I don't see anything. Okay. And you know, like I said, if we saw something in our test set, it would be different. So let's go ahead and what we're going to do next is, so that's from this client to this server. So now let's do MX2 number 2 client on 8890 to the server on the Zotac, and I think the server's already running. Yep, looks like it. Left 4 over. Let's VI this client. And we're going to set them to 85 meg. Okay. And let's run them and see what happens. And yeah, we're not seeing any jitter, no drops. Getting about the same 85.2 megabits per second bandwidth. So that's all good. Let's go look at, my guess is, so it always load balanced properly from the north, going the northbound direction. So we'll go look at them real quick. Let's see, this is a switch here. Copy. And yeah, he stuck them on the third link again. And like I said, it's still that 30-second thing. Let's go. I don't expect to see any errors. And oh, no drops or flushes. No errors. That looks okay. Okay. He's on this guy right here, so let's go look at him. And no drops or flushes in the queue. No, I don't see no input errors, nothing. So yeah, we look good. Okay, onward and upward. Let's do number 3 now. So let's make sure the server's still running. F4 on 8892. Yep, looks like he's still running. F4. It's VI this client. And I'll come over here, set them to 85 meg. And let's run 'em. Okay, the server got it. Jitter is not much. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. A little splooge of packet loss there. Okay. Well, maybe that was just a startup thing. That's very minimal. Unless we start getting a bunch of those. But other than that, it looks okay. It might have been just when it was first starting up. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. First, let's see where he put it. From the switch side. Yep, right in the middle, just as we expected. And let's go see if we can see what that error was. So let's see here. No, it's not a. This is an input queue. This should be an output problem. No errors. Packets, output errors. No, don't see anything on that side. Let's go look at the router. Yeah, it's right here in the middle. So, okay. No input queue drops or flushes. 0 buffers, no error, no input errors. Okay. Well, oh look, they're still taking some hits. Oh, I can't find it. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. I'm not seeing anything at the link level unless it's coming from the other links. So let's go look at our other links and see. My guess is it should be. I guess it could be coming from the router side. I mean the switch side. See, and this is what I was concerned about. See, now I don't trust that this guy's interface, since I'm SSH'd into him, is not running out of bandwidth. I doubt if I'm using 10 megs of bandwidth for an SSH session, but there's other overhead to look at. But let's just go look at all the interfaces real quick and see if we can see anything just jumping. Oh, here. Oh, no. I don't see. Input rate. No drops. No dribbles. No errors. No, don't see anything there. That's number 2 we already looked at. Oh, no, number 1. Did we look at number 1? I don't see any drops or flushes. No errors. Okay, let's go look at the last one. Nope. Drops or flushes. No errors. Alright, well, don't see anything there. Let's go check this guy real quick. Okay. No input problems, output problems. No errors. Yeah. I don't know. I think this might be a test equipment problem. No. Don't see any errors. 919 multicast. Okay, last one. Nothing in the input queue. No errors. Always output rate. No input errors. No output errors. No errors. Okay. So, okay. Where else could it be dropping? Let's go take a look at our commands up here. This is assuming the test equipment is running correctly. So let's go look at our port channel real quick, and I don't see anything dropping there. No errors, no errors. Okay, let's go look at this guy's port channel. He's up. No errors. Input errors, no output errors. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so let's go look at the VLAN. He's up. Keep alive. Not seeing any drops or flushes. He's got rate. No input errors, no output errors. Yes, I don't see anything jumping out at me. I hope I didn't just pass it up, but yeah, see, this is making me think this is something with, you know, maybe one of the Linux boxes. You know, every time it, you know, who knows what's going on. I could slow it down a little bit, but we might just have to ignore that error. It's, I mean, I could slow down. There's a couple fixes. I could make iPerf run real-time mode, which would probably fix that if that's what the problem is. But I'm just looking at the VLAN, and I didn't expect to see anything. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna just ignore those errors and move forward. It's just a small amount. And I didn't check to see. I'm assuming it's happening on all of them. Let's see. Yeah, it's happening on all of them. So, and the router's not showing anything. So at least the lag isn't. You know, the interfaces that's connecting these might actually be showing something, but I don't know. I doubt it. I'm guessing it's probably Linux boxes. Yeah, I mean, these aren't real test sets, right? So you just kind of have to work with what you got. And we might try debugging it if it starts getting, you know, pretty severe. But anyway, let's just move forward. So so the next test is we're going to start 3 streams going southbound. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the northbound traffic running. Why not? Hopefully it doesn't crater the Linux boxes. It shouldn't. So the first one we're going to start is I'm going to start a server up, which should already be running on MX2 number 1, port 8888. And then we'll start the client at 85 meg. And see what happens. I expect it to work, but we'll see. So okay, so first off is let's go down here to MX2 number 1, and we'll go over to server 8888. Okay, it's already running. So let's go over to client 8888, and let's VI client 8888. Okay, and we're gonna set him for 85 meg. All right, and let's run them. Okay. They're going to go down to our server here. Oh, we're getting a lot more packet loss now. Let's see where he put them. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. So the client, it doesn't look like he's sending enough traffic out. That's strange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up an F2. F2 opens a new window. I'm just going to run top on him and see if he's getting zinged. No, that doesn't seem to be bad. CPU, yeah, nothing. It does say 84%. I don't know. I don't know what's running it that high. Let's go down to our MX2 here, and so he's running on MX2 number 1. So I'm just gonna fire up a new window here. Ah, look at that. Okay, so we're obviously running out of bandwidth on MX2 number 1 because now I can't SSH into them. So or I probably just have to stop the traffic. So let me exit out of this, and this is our client, so I'm going to stop him, and I'm guessing he'll probably come back to life as soon as we stop beating him up with the traffic. Yep, see, there he is. So yeah, so we had a little bit of a problem there. Okay, so after messing around with it for a little bit, it looks like we're only going to be able to send about 70 megabits per second of traffic fairly in duplex kind of mode, fairly reliably. I mean, we're still getting a few hits on that server, but this one seems to be fairly clean. And I was looking at the port interface channels, and I don't see anything. Oh, actually, we are seeing some drops. So I was seeing this earlier, and I'm fairly surprised that we're seeing drops with this low of bandwidth. So how you read this is so you got the size. Oops. So you got size, then max. This is a queue size, max size, I guess, and number of drops and number of flushes. And don't hold me to that max. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'd have to go to the manual and look. But the drops, I definitely know what that is. That's dropping packets. And we're actually seeing that. Now, if we go to our switch and look, let's see. Oh, yeah. See, we're not seeing that. So it's coming, and that kind of makes sense, right? So this is an input queue, right? So it's coming. Let's look at it in the drawing. So this bottom one, right? This bottom window right here is the MX2 server window that we're looking at. See right there, server 8888. So we're looking at this. He's the one registering the drops. All right, you're saying 2 packets lost, and so he's the one registering the drops from this guy here. So it's coming through here, and so it's coming into his input queue, and for some reason he's dropping it. I have to admit, I'm kind of scratching my head as why. We're well under the bandwidth for this. So yeah, that's kind of strange. Just fire up some more traffic just to see what happens. It can't hurt at this point. It's the wheels are falling off right now. So okay, so I'm just going to fire up another server up here. So we're going to fire up server on 8890. And as you can see, I was doing some other stuff. Server. Okay. And let's go ahead and fire up another client over here. So it'll be client for 8890. Oop. Okay, so let me make sure this client is set right. Now, let's go change him. I'm going to set him to 70 meg. And, yeah, let's fire him off. Okay. Yeah, see, now we're getting all kinds of, look at 18, 20% packet loss. And I wonder if it's coming, let's see if let me clear the screen out a little bit. Oh, yeah, I guess we can clear the counters, why not? Yeah, see, this number is getting huge now. Let's see what this guy down here is looking like. Yeah, see, he's not having any problems. I am, but now we're losing traffic coming from the MX2 going up here. And, yeah, I'm not exactly sure why that's happening. Let's do a show int VLAN. Well, I don't see anything on the VLAN. Let's go look at some of the show int fast 10. Was it 44? Well, not seeing anything there. Show int. Oh, yeah, just look at 45. No, not seeing anything there. Okay. And last one. 46. No. So let's see how our traffic is. Yeah. This is very strange. So we've got well, okay, so yeah, we've got 70 meg over here. We haven't even started the duplex part of it. And then we have 71 meg, let's say, right there. So, yeah, we're losing 20% of our traffic going up this way, which is very unusual. Show int VLAN 10. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a 5-minute thing. I don't see any real errors. Let's do a show int fast 10. Okay, so he's saying his input. Do you see any other errors? Only 3 packets output. That's right, because he's only carrying one-way traffic so far. So let's go look at the third one, which would be number 2. And yeah, so he's got 72 meg on each. Packets output. I don't see any errors. But yeah, his input queue keeps dropping stuff. Interesting. Input being coming from the Ethernet switch. So yeah, that's. But we're also seeing drops coming from we saw one, let's see, from the server here too, right? So let's go over this guy. Oh, okay. Well, he's not getting a bunch. Although we did see like 44. We saw very few, but it was, I'm not exactly sure. Let's fire up some more traffic. Gosh, it can't hurt, right? So, let's see here. We're going to go over to, let's start another server up. Oh. Okay. Clear the screen up. Okay, so we're going to start this server up. 8890. And let's go up here and start another client up. 8890. Let me VI him real quick. Oh, he's still set to 10 meg. We'll set him to 70. And let's see what happens. Oh. This right here, if you're wondering, is some kind of problem with PuTTY and the router for some reason. I've seen it before and I don't remember. There's probably a fix for it. I just don't remember what it is and didn't really have time to look at it. All right. Oh yeah, see, now we're dropping 40% of our traffic. Interesting. So yeah, this isn't good. Let's see what the other server's doing. Oh yeah, we've lost connectivity to them too. That's strange. So let's go look at our switch here real quick. Let me just look at the port channel. Show it. Port channel 1. And yeah, I'm not seeing anything unusual from him, but boy, this guy is sure not happy. So if I clear his counters, look at that again. Yeah, look at that. I mean, geez, I just cleared him. He's dropping everything. That's interesting. I'll have to look to see exactly, because we were seeing some counts from the other direction too. So I'm questioning whether that's truly input from the switch side or if it just means input. Yeah, I'll need to look at that a little bit more. All right, well, back to our our test case. Yeah, so this we actually were able to get 3 northbound streams. We didn't get them really at 90 meg, but we weren't able to get. So I'm gonna say I think we got them at. Geez, I don't remember what. We'll just say 70. Oops. 70 just for argument's sake, and let's just put 70 here. And as long as it wasn't duplex, it looks like it passes, but yeah, this guy is hosed. I'm gonna have to come up with a different test scenario for this because this isn't working. I've lost connectivity. I need to really be out of band to see what's going on. So and this one right here is this last test case right here. So I'm gonna call these both fails. This is something that we really need to revisit. Yeah, I'm not happy. And this last test case right here, what I was gonna say is, this is kind of based on the load balancing, and since we had load balancing problems, you know, I think we need to. We'll test that when we go to fix the load balancing. But anyway, that concludes our complete fail of testing. I would call this a not very good day of testing the lag. I mean, we're having some test equipment problems, obviously. But on top of that, we're also dropping some traffic, and our load balancing didn't work. So I'm going to have to rethink our test set here. I might have to scrap the MX2s and get something with a little more horsepower, so we don't have this problem with you know, those little single board computers just don't really have the horsepower to generate traffic. Although I was doing a top on it and it wasn't using a lot of CPU, but yeah, I don't know. I'll look at it a little bit off camera. Anyway, I hope you liked that and found it somewhat interesting. And I'll have more videos fixing each one of these, and in the future, I won't leave you hanging. We'll come back and fix them. We'll get our lag fixed where it load balances properly, and we'll fix our test equipment. And I'll let you know what solution I end up coming up with for that, and then we'll visit this input queue where we're getting so many drops in the router. Probably a config problem would be my guess. But anyway. Like I said, I hope you like it, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you later.